Yes, we continue with our discussion, and one of a reference that I would like us to reflect on as we go forward, especially this end of our discussion for tonight, David Kolb's experiential learning model refer to concrete experience, active experimentation, reflective observation, and also goes on to look at abstract conceptualization, and also looks at a number of abilities. Every learner, you are paying school fees for the children. And by the way, we are wishing, success to all those who are doing exams, especially Senior 4 and Senior 6 students. But here is Victoria University, among other universities, that is trying to give a direction on which learning processes that can make you better, not bitter. And having said that, we are with Madam Shamim K. Matovu. The abilities of learning that ushers want to get a job. And also, that's one area which I would like you to assure the viewers that can give us a solution. And number two, we tend to be in the middle. We are here, as I do use that verbatim, as a country in terms of progressive education. There is where we are supposed to go, but there is a bridge which is not yet bridged. Looking at other countries, which we are even referring to in a comparative analysis, yet we are not quick to adapt new approaches that can help everyone to get a job, so long as you finish. Even if one finishes Senior 4 is supposed to get a job. To me, that's how I could refer to it. Even if someone finished Senior 6 is supposed to get a job, no one should be referred as a dropout. Then if someone finishes a degree or a certificate, it's supposed to be well, and it's beyond only just a career that I'm doing this and that. And by doing that, I'm referring to issues of innovation, issues of also equal access to opportunity, to learn and get to know what you can do that improves on the economy. Could you give us your input or your take? What's your take on that?
Thank you. What I need to clarify more is also the language that we use. Like I said, we are supporting people who want to build careers, not to get jobs. All right? So that's the starting point. So in terms of the abilities you need as an individual to build a career, the starting point is realizing that you need that.
You need a career?
Yes.
You don't need a job?
Yes. That's the starting point.
A business career, a what, a ITC, whatever.
You see, your career is a combination of the things that you're strong at, your interests, your passions, and all that package. So that means that if I am, for example, I'll tell you that I'm so passionate about my work, you don't need to drag me. I can do my work anywhere. You don't have to remind me of what I'm supposed to do because I've built a career intentionally. So what we are saying that it starts with you as an individual. The abilities you require, the first point is acceptance, but also being able to look at people and say, I would love that. Who wouldn't want to have a prosperous career, right? So the starting point is you wanting that. And when you want that, is sitting down and being intentional at it. Looking into yourself and say, what are the things that really inflate me? The things that really excite you, the things that deflate you, those things that you don't like to do. Don't waste your time on things that you don't want to do. Focus on the things you want to do. Focus on building relationships around the people that can help you achieve the path that you want to achieve. But also be very intentional at it. So if it's learning, you need to ensure that you give in time, invest time in your learning, invest money. This is a challenge that we have. We have a community that can spend 2 million shillings to buy a Brazilian wave, but they cannot spend 2 million shillings to hire a professional to help them structure their career.
That's the point.
You see? So that's the challenge. I always tell people that when you invest in yourself, that comes back in fold. He will tell you. I tell him I want this and he will give it to me because I know the value that I am bringing to the university, right? And so that's the importance. We are saying that as we talk about all things about policy, about what the politicians are doing, what are we doing? Because for you, for example, to say, I would like to earn X amount of money, you must be able to articulate the value you bring on board. So let's support our children, our adult children, I must emphasize, but also our young children to know the things that they love and then boost them into creating the more love around the things that they like to do. So the bridge. Now the bridge is both family-wise and also policy-wise. Now, family-wise, we already said that, and I don't want to go back into it, otherwise we risk repeating ourselves. Parents should pay attention to their children's likes. Please do not force your child to be a doctor because you're a doctor. I am a business anthropologist. I want you to find one more Ugandan who is a business anthropologist. I'll be glad to meet with them, right? But you see, had I not stepped into my zone of genius, I would still be fighting to be.
Do you have that course at Victoria University, business anthropology?
No, we don't have that.
Because the reason why I'm coming to that, in terms of the delivery, course deliveries here in Uganda, they tend to have a copy and paste kind of attitude and style.
Yes.
And some of the new courses, as I've been able to access a number of jobs on the international scene, and also a number of courses delivered, you find we are not matching at all with them, yet those jobs and the courses are relevant even in a global perspective or context.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So I think that what's important is for us then to think about the importance of certain professionals into our industry. Because you see also, if you look at big companies, the Googles of this world, the Facebook, they're hiring psychologists, they're hiring anthropologists. Why? Because when you have a multi-talented group of people, you get a great product, your offering is great because everyone has an input, something to add on to. But still, when we go back to the bridge, I will speak to policymakers, and especially around a minimum wage. It's very, very unfair that people invest their time and energy to improve themselves, but multinationals and other companies still pay people peanuts. So the government has a responsibility to say there has to be a threshold at which an entry role, for example, in one corporation or another kind of company should be paying. And then it's up to the individual to say, this is my opportunity to articulate my value so I can be paid handsomely or beautifully, if you may like. But also it's important for us to invest our time, invest our energy and commitment to building a country that we love. You see, there's no any other. If you know that this is your home, you will get the flowers, you will cultivate, you will do everything possible to ensure that everything works. Now, our responsibility as individuals is to work on ourselves to ensure that we get the skills required, we follow the trends. There's a lot happening. Some of this information is actually available on YouTube, University of YouTube, University of Twitter.
Yeah, you've mentioned something which is important, the country that you love. There is a frustration in our populace that is driving us to this challenge, especially of our children, our sons and daughters, going to look for jobs, not because of good skills they possess, but for survival jobs in the Arabic countries. And at the end of the day, their going is not because they're feeling they are loving Arab more than Uganda, but they're being frustrated, especially on how jobs here are either, you've talked about the issue of career, but there's a bridge which is not yet, which is not yet sorted. How can we sort that out?
Okay, so
because the love of the country goes with someone, the passion you are attached to your country because the country has cared for you. You're able to get a job, you study, as you're talking about the career, you're guided the career.
So every time I see this, my heart sinks. But you see, people make individual decisions to do that. Because I believe that exposure is the best teacher you can ever have. Sometimes people have to try elsewhere to understand that the grass is not greener the other side, right? So you have to ensure that the grass is greener where you are. But perhaps what we can do as people who are responsible for our country is to create relationships, collaborations with community. Now, a lot of our young people leave and go elsewhere. But we do have a lot of companies here. We have startups. We have companies that are on a growth level. We have these corporate companies. Can we say that we are looking for a particular human capital? Can we start developing these people, create opportunities where you as the people that want these people to develop and be able to deliver to the promise that you have for the market, are you able to say, let's spare some time and coach these people.
Okay, what to advise is a graduate
Yes.
has studied library and information technology.
Yes.
Has looked for job, is not getting anything at all.
Yes.
You are an employability expert.
Yes.
The only way that graduate is opting is either to start a bar. I'm telling you scenario cases which I've met.
Yes.
And also is thinking of also starting where they can, make chapati and maybe roast chicken and have survival. What do you advise such person? In 2 minutes I will go for.
So the solution we are doing right now is, in the first place, how did they end up applying for library and
technology,
science,
IT.
whatever that program is? How did they end up applying for that program? Because we are saying we want to educate people in areas where there is need, right? That we have to ensure that we are targeting what does the market need, and then develop your skills and competencies around the needs of the market, but also tapping into your interests. So what we're doing is, you come into the university, you've applied for library and library science, then you realize as you engage with us, because we're engaging with you from day one, as you engage with us, you realize, no, actually my lab is in marketing. You're able to switch.
Help me solve that case that I've posed.
Yes.
A student, I've said, he's a graduate,
Yes.
and 4 years, no job. He studied the IT and library information. He's, whether he call it hopeless, but he's thinking of now going into entrepreneurship. Of course, a graduate could not wish to begin roasting chicken on the roadside. How can we advise such person?
Okay, so
to make it better in the career and employability?
So reflective practice. Reflective practice helps you think about, how did I get to where I am? Because the best way for you to make changes in your life or transform your life is to understand, how did you get there in the first place? So it's important that you reflect as a person, tap into, and then get help. Because the challenge is we want to self-medicate. You feel under the weather, you want to swallow Panadol, but you actually have Ebola.
So we call, you are making me to remember the other model, reflective observation.
Yes, you need to be able to reflect on your life and say, is this a life I want for myself? What mistakes have I made? And that is why we're saying it's a personal decision. Then you're saying, okay, let me invest time and perhaps money to be able to figure this out. The same thing I say, that we want to buy Brazilian waves, but we do not want to invest money into professionals to help us.
So this person, the graduate,
Yes.
need to reflect
Yes.
on the past, how did he get there?
Yes.
Then finally can rethink and do something better.
You cannot rethink as an individual. You realize that when you reflect, I need help, right? When you reflect and you realize, oh my God, how did I get into this mess? Then you understand that you need help. Then seek help.
Look for help.
Yes.
Now which help can that person get?
Growth is not a lonely journey. Growth is a collaborative journey.
Okay, thank you, our expert. I have to engage in that, and we add more next time. We are ending our show, but Professor, you are having 4 minutes to go and give us the concrete message at your last note that can maybe inspire both policymakers and our other universities outside there. I mentioned it during our break. We've been able to be innovative in creating some of the administrative positions which are to help make education meaningful, and we need to learn from that, because having here an expert who is a career and employability specialist, I've been able to learn that kind of approach some other universities, other organizations across the globe, and it's something which we don't take it for granted, because we need to change methods. Kindly come on, you have 4 minutes as we conclude our show.
As we conclude, Dr. Joseph, thank you very, very much for giving us this opportunity to share with your viewers, countrymen and women, what we think today's education and that of tomorrow should look like. And thank you, Smart24 TV, for always dedicating this space that is beneficial to the country. You talked about inspiration. And this is how I want to inspire our viewers. You may be a parent, you may be a grandparent, or a young person who is planning to have a child. because while we talk about education, all of us at some point we have been children and we've gone through the education system, and this is where we are today. So that means those who have children right now, they are going through the education system, and those who aspire to have them, or some mothers who are pregnant about to have their children, this is the good news for everyone, that there is no parent, and I want to be very, very emphatic on this, there is no parent in this country or anywhere in the world who gives birth to a failed child. All of us, parents, those who aspire to become parents, we all give birth to successful children. Children that are bound to be very, very successful in this world. One thing that lets us down, one thing, is the education they get exposed to. The education they receive, or even fail to receive, is that very thing that lets our children down. And this is a fight for all of us. We have to fight together. Not a physical fight of harming people or anything, but trying to do what is really necessary, supporting our children to be who God created them to become. We have to understand what is education. And I was trying to scribble down what education should really, real education, meaningful education should really mean for everyone. Education simply means to bring out, to draw out something, to draw out something hidden. You just bring it out, or to stimulate, to arouse. So if that is the definition of true education, meaningful education. So every child you have given birth to, or you ever give birth to, every student out there is something in them that a school, a teacher is supposed to bring out.
Thank you.
Is supposed to draw out that hidden potential, that hidden ability, that hidden talent, that hidden passion. We need to bring it out. That is real education.
That's the what?
So if education is not helping to bring that out, then it is very, very problematic. And we need to support our students to change and put them in an education system that really help them to become that everything they were created to become. We don't give birth to unsuccessful what? Children. Our children are bound to be successful, but the education we subject them to is the game changer here. Either it changes for the good or for the bad. So choose good education. Now, having said that, to me, this is my contribution, a gift to my country, my fellow parents, the students out there, education administrators, university administrators, and staff, leaders, members of parliament, education review commission, honorable minister, the head of state, everyone. This can really be part of the solution that we are looking for to change education. We are talking about experiential learning, learning by doing. We are talking about personalized learning, which we really need. Competence-based learning that depends on mastery and exhibiting competencies. This is where to go. Eventually, you're going to have a student who leaves the university with passion, experience, competencies, skills, digital literacies. They are creative. They are innovators. They can start what we call startups. They can stimulate economic transformation and then employment opportunities. Then we will have restored